tired and I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely.
Well, how many was in the last one?
On Fridays are usually slim pickings too. There was a couple. No, actually, it was just me and Carlos on Friday. There was only 2 of us.
Okay, well, you know what, you showed up on time, I'm not gonna keep, you know what I mean, it's like, I'm gonna keep it on time, and I'm gonna take my mask off so you can give me thought.
Perfect.
One person today, I'm almost like to do it like where I just jump on a computer and do it, so we don't have to do it like here in the room, because there's nobody here.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
You know what, let's give it 2 minutes and see if Brian shows up.
Okay.
If he doesn't, that would be a little bit easier, and then I can, actually, I'll have this on there. Actually, let's just set me up for this.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's go ahead and keep it as is for right now, because Richard is actually going to come in here in a minute. He's finishing up. We have a house that's going to close here next week, and had to meet with the trash haulers and stuff, getting all the junk out.
Right.
So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get started. So today we're really going to be talking about prospecting, and you have a pretty large network, right? From everything you've done in the past.
Right.
So in terms of getting them into command, because you've already set up the command, correct?
Yes, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on this week is getting it into command. And I have an appointment with Jessica on Wednesday about getting all my farm info into command. I know there's somebody, not Michael O's marketing, but somebody else does that. I'm not 100% sure.
That will be, what is his name? I know who you're talking about, but yeah, he can.
Yeah, me too, but I can't think of it. So this week I'm just kind of concentrating on getting stuff into command and scripts. And then I have a mailer that I believe should be going out this week. And I want to set up a Facebook ad for this weekend. So.
Okay, so just so you know, with the Facebook, I'm gonna go back and forth. I'm gonna follow the most of the stuff, and I'm also kind of tailing based on what you're gonna need.
Okay.
I think that will serve you better than me just going through point by point. And you're gonna find me looking back at you so I can see you. So, with regard to your ads, remember that when you start an ad and you finish it, it takes about a day for it to go live. So if you're thinking about something for this week, remember there's always going to be about a day in lag. So,
okay.
So take that into consideration, because if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do an ad right now, it's going to go live. No, it's going to go get reviewed, and then it's going to go through the whole thing. It takes about a day for it to start going live.
Okay. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and then make sure to in command that whenever you're going through and selecting your target audience, write this down because this is important.
Okay.
So you can add in these search criteria. Make sure you put realtor.com. Make sure you put Zillow.
Okay.
Make sure you put Trulia. And then of course find anything for lending like mortgage professionals or more like loans, mortgage loans. You find anything that has to do with loans.
Okay.
Because you want to make sure, because people go on realtor.com and then next thing you know, you want to make sure it's somewhat tagged for people that are actually looking for houses too.
Right. You're walking through me in the house right now. I've got lunch in the oven, so hold on. Oh my, yeah. All right, sorry, hold on a sec. Hey bud, can you take that out for me?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, Kirsten, we have beef stew and biscuits baked on top.
That sounds good though.
Oh my God, I'm starving. So that'll be a couple more minutes for you. So when you're saying that about the Zillow and Realtor and stuff, Johnny, try it yourself. But that's for the Facebook ad?
Yeah, so even in the Facebook ad, because there's no, it's kind of like tagging, you know, where there's gonna be certain search criteria. Even
Okay,
though it's gonna show on a Facebook ad, there's algorithms within Facebook that you wanna try to target, so it shows up in people's feed.
okay,
You're still gonna, you're gonna be covering Moore Park, right?
yes. Mhm.
So you're still gonna target like Moore Park and whatever surrounding near Moore Park, I mean, you're gonna probably have it in a. So you're gonna hit part CD, part Thousand Oaks, maybe even Newbury Park, but you're gonna focus it on Moore Park, but you are gonna have some outliers, because if you're just kind of like doing it on a circle or based on miles, you're going to see that it takes in some of those other cities.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this. We can just tailor this session to me since no one else is here. I've joined this like Facebook realtor group, real estate masterminds, just people give out ideas and tips and such. And it said for a new agent, you should get permission and share maybe another agent's listing in your office.
Mhm.
On your post or whatever. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what, it's one of those, we've done that before many, many years ago when we didn't have any listings. But again, it's just one of those, you know, you want to make sure that whoever you are asking permission from, that they're totally cool, because of course, just ask. And then I would suggest making sure you have something writing and show them what ad you are running.
Right.
Because one of the things you're gonna, even though all of the brokerage of KW Westlake, they, you know, we as individual agents, the listing is owned by the brokerage, right? Not owned, but that's who they have the agreement with, and then we are just having to be the representatives for the various listings. And you want to make sure whatever presentation that you do and share, that you are indeed, first of all, you got the permission to do so, but second of all, you want to make sure that it doesn't appear that it's your listing, that you
Right.
get the appropriate credit, like, hey, it's listed by, and the thing is, it's listed by KW Westlake Village, right? So, you know, you are part of this office, and yes, KW Westlake, well, we have all these listings. So it's kind of like that fake it till you make it type thing, but just make sure that you have the right disclaimers on there as to, you know, it's listed by KW. Try not to do anything outside of the brokerage, try to keep it all in the brokerage. And
Right.
if you have any questions on it, run it by Gay Rainey, just to be certain. Make sure that any type of posting that you do, you always have your DOE number, you always have KW Westlake Village, and you have your full name on there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that it's a first point of contact. And if you don't have your DOE number and your full name of brokerage, there are people out there looking for those type of violations, and they will turn you in. We haven't really had anything here, but typically in a market where it's a tough market, but there's some agents that are doing really, really well, they become, you know, people want to, you know, some people don't want other people to succeed, unfortunately. And
Right.
that's when people start coming out of the woodworks and say, oh, well, you did this wrong, you did, you know what I mean? So
Right.
just make sure you're really crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's.
Got it.
So in terms of what we're going to cover today, is really just, you know, grow the business, how you're going to lead generate for both buyers and sellers, how you're going to run your business, how you're going to market the listings, how you're going to show buyer houses, like the buyers, the houses, negotiate contracts, transaction management, vendor management, compliance. Again, you go to contract class, you're learning everything about the contracts right now from Sally, I assume, and also going to Gay's contract class. I would suggest that you do that because it's all about the contracts.
I haven't been yet because like right now it's a conflict between, it's at the same time as this right now. So I'm all,
Well, no, contract shouldn't be right now. It should be, I don't think there's a contract class now, right now, is there?
it said today at 1, I believe. Hold on, or maybe it's,
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially since this is geared to the newer agents that kind of need to learn. And then the contracts, which I mean, I still go from time to time to contracts class, and I've been in this business for almost 16 years or so,
Uh-huh.
17 years. And each year, you know, 2 times a year, we have updates to contracts. And now this, with COVID, I mean, with all the new forms that came out during COVID, you know, there's constantly something on a contract that you need to be aware of. And you
Right.
need to be able to explain to your client.
Oh, hey, there's other people in now. There's 3 more people joined.
All righty, let me see. Let me see if I can see. Do I need to, hold on just a second. Participants, hey, okay, so we got Irama, Maria, Ron, hey Ron, and then, yeah, so these other 2, I don't think I've met these other 2, but if you guys have any questions, up until now, it's just been me and Kirsten kind of yapping and kind of tailing each other. Now I just realized we have others on here. So now we can make it a little bit more formal and really cover what we're supposed to do in class today. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself so I can hear you. Otherwise, I have to kind of go back and look at the screen. If you have questions and you don't have it, you know, I mean, interrupt me and say, hey, I have a question. I'm totally cool with that. If you prefer just to write out your question, do that in the chat box, and I will certainly go look in the chat box, which I guess I have. Yeah, I don't see anything on chat yet. So if you have anything, let me know. But know that, you know, it's a very, it's formal yet informal, right? We're all here to learn, but also realize that on a day-to-day, real estate is really truly an evolving thing. You've got to have some set structure, but then you've got to have, you know, a way to adapt when things change as well. So does anyone have any questions at this time?
Hi, it's Maria.
Hi, Maria.
It's just a little hard to hear. I don't know if you have like a microphone available.
Okay, so I wonder if I'm supposed to be. If I speak in this, can you hear better?
Yeah, that's much better.
All right. Well, before it sounded like really clear with Kirsten, so I don't know. Okay, so I'll try to keep it close to my face. So thank you for telling me that, because that's important that you can actually hear what it is that I'm saying. So what we're really focusing on today is prospecting, kind of how to grow your business, how to run your business, and how to continue prospecting for new business, because we tend to, when we get into a deal or get a listing or get a buyer, get all consumed in that. But what happens after that, right? You still have to have something in the pipeline, and that's what prospecting is all about. If you are focusing all your efforts on that one person or that one deal, and you don't have anything in the pipeline, remember, after each deal, you are unemployed. So always remember to have it set up so you keep building on the success that you have with working with 1 client, 2 clients, or whatever. And then the next thing you know, it's going to multiply. But again, it's all about systems and models. So today we're going to review just a little bit about, here, I'm actually going to, hold on just a second. I'm going to grab the actual Ignite booklet that you guys have. It's a little bit different than I have the instructor version. So I just want to make sure I see what you guys are looking at. And for Maria and for Jarapa, I don't think I've met either one of you. I'm Kirsten Powell. I'm with the Powell Fine Homes Group. Been with this office about going on 3 years here in February. So we were previously at a different brokerage for about 13 years. Remember, compliance about do not call. You should all have gotten something in the mail this week or this last week from the office about the do not call list. Very important that we follow that, because the price to pay is very steep if you do not follow the rules on that. So for all of you guys right now, I know Ron has been in the business for a bit there. With you other ones, how long have you been in real estate?
For me, Maria, it's been about like a year, really, but I've kind of been like in and out, and I was working full time. But now I'm kind of more focusing on real estate.
And what, Maria, did you do prior to real estate?
I worked for JD Power in market research.
Good, good. So you probably have a very good networking base already in place, do you not?
Not so much from there, but just like other relationships, like family and friends. So I was also in a sorority in college. So yeah, that I think all of that has helped me.
Yeah. So you want to definitely make sure that all of those people that you have come across over the time, they should go into your database, and then you can categorize them based on what level they are, A, B, C, or D, or however you want to set up your database. But it's all about all the people that you know should know that you are now in real estate and that's your full-time focus. So that goes for all of you guys. Now for Javaba, how long have you been in business? I don't know if I see the unmute. Let me see if I can unmute.
Hi.
Okay, there you are. Welcome.
Okay.
How long have you been in real estate?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years. And
Yeah.
oh, Javaba, you're the one that you were up north, right?
Yeah, I was up north. I follow my husband to Silicon Valley, and I'm hanging my license with Keller Williams in Silicon City, which is in San Jose area. Yeah.
Okay, good. So coming down here, this is now gonna you are from this area, so you have several contacts down here still, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly my networks in this town, in Thousand Oaks, in Westlake, in the valley.
That's great.
Yeah.
So again, it's one of those things, when you first get into the business, of course, you want to make sure that you let everyone know that you are in the business, making sure that you have some sort of introduction, because how you introduce yourself into the business becomes kind of part of that prospecting, right? You're prospecting for business by letting them know you're in real estate, letting them know that you can help them with their real estate needs. And if they need a lender or if they need another vendor for, paint or anything, all these different things, but you need to come from a contribution mindset. That's how Richard and I do our business, very much, consultative and very much being there for our clients. I mean, we still have clients that from day one. I mean, we bought and sold with them twice now. And now, of course, when we sold the first time, kids were little in preschool, and now they're in college. So it's one of those things you want to make sure that you provide a service, and always remember that, because a lot of people you will find in this business tend to turn in terms of, hey, it's just a transaction on to the next, right? It just becomes kind of like a car salesperson job, right? And that's not what we're all about, because selling or buying real estate, I mean, that's typically people's largest asset. So you want to make sure that you are really encompassing the whole service aspect. And that's one of the things that we're big on. And that's one of the things that I think you all can benefit highly from. Ron, do you agree? I'm kind of calling out Ron, but he is not answering. So, okay. So in terms of prospecting, we have this great tool in Command, and I really like all the new updates that they're doing. In terms of getting people into your system, the key is getting name, email, phone number, and preferably an address. Because if you get the address, you can use a great smart plan, which is the monthly update on the house in that area. So it'll pull all the data for that particular address, and it kind of gets a neighborhood nurture. For us, we have clients that span all the way from Temecula all the way up to the Santa Barbara County line. So we're not only focused in one area, we're focused wherever our clients need us. So this tool is really, really great, because it's not typically an email that will go out from us that will go to our whole database, because they're all scattered all over the place. So make sure you really get the information in. What we can also do now is add birthdays and anniversaries, and really making it personal, because when you do that, when you go to prospect and you can go to connect with people, they're going to remember that. It's not all about you talking, right? It's about what are you bringing out from them and how can you be a service to them, because that's what they're going to remember. There's that one saying that it's not how you, what is it? It's how you make people feel. That's what they're going to remember. Any questions thus far? Okay. Now, I assume that you guys all have connected your KW Connect profile and set everything up, correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's really the key thing. Now, in terms of prospecting, you should be prospecting on a day-to-day basis. Right now, how many people are doing anything in terms of an email or any kind of online prospecting? Anyone?
I've done, well, I've been setting up that market neighborhood nurture thing in my commands for the people I have in there right now. They all get that. And then this past week, I've used the food drive, the social media post that Patrick made, and I've posted it on my Nextdoor app for the neighborhood and said, you know, we're running this food drive. I'd be happy to come pick it up at your doorstep, you know, COVID-free, masks and gloved, and PM me with your address. So like yesterday, I went and picked up food and I left a thank you note with my business card and just said, you know, if you know of someone selling or moving, you know, just, I've only been in it like 3 weeks now. So I'm trying to think outside the box to market in that way. So I use those social media posts on the food drive to kind of get my name out there too.
Yeah, and right now we really have to do everything kind of virtually, in the sense that we're not supposed, even whenever we had, you know, now we can show again. There was for a while that we weren't able to even go into people's houses, but now that we are in a process where we can go into people's houses, when we sell, we normally do a really nice brochure. We have a bunch of, you know, collateral, like a lot of collateral material to really, you know, highlight the home. But because of COVID, we can't do that. So I know you mentioned a card and a business card. Just kind of keep that on the, because right now we're not supposed to drop anything.
Oh, right. I left nothing actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So just make sure that we'll really stay compliant on that, just because we want to make sure that we don't get anyone in trouble because, you know, COVID, you know. So the lead generation comes in many different forms. How many people in this form here are actually doing a farm? So Kirsten, I know you are doing a farm.
Yeah.
Maria, are you focusing on a farm?
Yes, I have a farm.
Okay, and did you get that all from the title rep? So you have all the data from them?
Yes, correct.
Okay, did you add everything into your command?
Oh, no, I haven't done that.
Okay, so definitely, you know, get them all into command. And then when you connect with them, you know, when you get phone numbers and emails, you already have their address. That way, when you are making phone calls or emailing to them, you can offer the monthly nurture, or you can start, you know, developing relationships. Now, do you currently live in the farm where you farm?
I do.
You do. Okay. So you already probably know several people there, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So make sure that they all go into command, because what you can do too, when you start doing your Facebook advertisement, you can target it to your database, which now are indeed those people that you have in your database that are in your farm. And it's based off for Facebook. If that email address that you have in your command, if it matches what they registered with for Facebook, they will automatically get targeted and they'll start seeing your ads. So you want to make sure that you get the data in there.
Okay, perfect.
And one thing that I had mentioned to Kirsten earlier was the fact of when you go in and do the tag, it's not really a tag, but when you go in and do your target base for the Facebook ads, this is a little bit more detail oriented, and you guys will probably cover this when you're meeting with Jessica, but make sure you put realtor.com, Trulia, as well as Zillow in there. So make sure that those are some of the targeted audiences that you put into your Facebook advertisement.
Okay.
Now, since we can't really do open houses and we can't do brokers opens, how are you guys working with seeing homes? Are you trying to make an effort to go preview houses, maybe the vacant ones?
We were kind of told unless it's vacant, well, to not do that and just try to use the videos of homes up, like tours.
Mm-hmm. So what I would recommend, especially if you're kind of like in a farm, definitely check out whatever is in your farm, what's currently on the market, know your inventory so you can speak really intelligently about it. With regard to the houses that may be vacant in your area, make sure you try to go see them, because many times seeing a video and being in a house, two different things. I mean, photography and videography can be deceiving at times. It can make really, it's kind of like that lipstick on a pig type scenario. Oh, there's a little feedback there. Oh. Okay, are you guys hearing feedback?
No.
Okay, so it's just here in the room. Every time I speak, it bounces back and says the same thing. So going into your materials, do you guys all have your materials in front of you? Do you have it on your computer? How are you guys working the best in terms of going through the material?
I'm just seeing it as you screen through it.
Okay, so so I will go ahead, and that's why I'm asking. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Okay, let's see here next. So we already kind of covered this. So deep dive methods into prospecting. Here, I'm going to move this out of the way so you guys can see it. I'm just going to put you guys down here. Really, it's about creating good habits, right? So on a weekly basis, make sure you have 3 to 4 hours set aside for prospecting. It can be tedious, but if you were to break it down in 2 or 3 sessions, it's really not that bad. Make sure you do different activities in between. But really, you want to make sure you develop a plan and try to stick to it as best as you can. So Sunday night, when you get ready for the week, time block. Time block is a big thing that can help you, especially when you're new in the business, because you're self-employed and there's always going to be laundry. There's always going to be all these different things. So you want to make sure that when you say you're going to work, you're going to try to focus on work. And then whenever you go out to start looking at properties, you're going to, that's the time set aside for that. So make sure that you time block. Connect prospecting to lead generation, again, comes down to your command. We have this great tool. Definitely recommend that you use that. Let's see here. It's not really working. So prospecting and marketing, you've seen this particular thing before, right? Where it shows you the funnel, how it's coming in. You capture leads, you have leads and contacts, then you have to cultivate them. And then, the whole setup in the bottom where it goes appointment that's active, under contract to close. Have you seen this particular slide before?
Yes.
Okay. So many times when you get the leads coming in to your Facebook, they're just leads because you haven't really done anything with them yet. They're coming in from, they're clicking on your ad, but you haven't talked to them, you haven't connected with them. So they're just a lead. So they're really nothing yet. So the key is to really connect and offer them some side of service, sometimes you get them on a smart plan, whether it's a first-time home buyer, if it's a seller, have all these different plans in your library. There's a bunch of libraries set up in Command already, but go in and pick the ones that you like and maybe adjust them, tweak them a little bit so it sounds like you a little bit more. But make sure that you have something that once you get a lead in and you call them and you talk to them, make sure you have something that after the conversation, you now know, oh, this is a first-time home buyer. They need a little bit more help explaining what the process is about. Oh, they need a lender. Oh, let me put them on my lender drip. You know, just make sure you have different things to offer them. So it's not just a call and then what are you going to do after the call? There has to be a plan for you to follow up with them. And you have that's part of your prospecting. So if you talk to Joe Smith today, and you put them on a smart plan, well, on a smart plan, in a couple of days, you should have it that it automatically shows up that you are to go check with them again and say, hey, did you get the email? What did you think? Engage in conversation and find out if the information you're sending is actually of value to him, or maybe he needs something completely different. But again, it's building that rapport with the person that you have on the other line. Any questions at this point?
No.
Okay. Again, this right here really talks about the messages and the methods, right? We talked about the time block that you see over here. You know, you've got to prospect and you got to know your market and you need to be able to time block. You need to prepare, take action, and maintain because, as I said, after each deal, you are unemployed. And it's one of those things you've got to keep the foot on the gas. And you have to plan 2 or 3 or 4 months out in advance. So say, for example, the same Joe Smith says, I'm going to buy a house in 6 months. Well, what you want to make sure you do is on a monthly basis minimum, you are to follow up with them. You are to reach out and find out, okay, where are you in the process? Where are they in the process of getting pre-approved? And how can you be of service to them in that regard? Market it, like match your market, make an offer, direct offer, indirect offer, responses. I mean, when you're prospecting, you want to make sure that you are actually providing a service. That's really what it comes down to. Marketing. Okay, so marketing can be inexpensive or it can be very expensive. It all depends on what you do. If you are doing mailers to your farm, all depending on how many people you have in a farm, you want to make sure you send stuff on a consistent basis because you don't want to just mail once and then go away because then you really, in essence, have wasted your money. So if you plan on marketing to your farm via mail, make sure you are doing it every 4 to 6 weeks. Make sure it's a consistent message. Make sure that you're offering something of value and make sure that your piece, of course, is fully compliant. Always check it through in the marketing department before you submit it out. However, make sure that you keep, you know, a minimum. If you're going to commit to a farm and you're going to be doing mailings, make sure that you have a piece that is, you know, each single month or every 6 weeks. Okay. Hold on just a second, guys. It was funny. I just happened to see some people walk by, and as you know, here when we have our meetings, when we're on the microphone, it's usually out in the hall as well. And I start having people like, you know, turning around. I just want to make sure that it was just contained in here to the room. So I was just checking with Emmy real quick. Now, for you guys, what methods are you currently using? Hold on just a second. Am I on speaker out there?
No.
Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay, I got my answer. What methods are you guys currently doing in terms of prospect? Are you doing mailings, you doing Facebook ads, or are you doing call campaigns? What are you doing for your prospecting?
This is Kirsten. I have a mailer. I think it's going out this week to my farm. And then I'm meeting this week to get a Facebook ad going.
Okay, is Patrick helping you with those?
Well, yes and no. I had set up an appointment to meet with Patrick and I was just fiddling around on the Michael Lewis marketing suite. So when I went to meet with Patrick, he liked what I created already, and he goes, you know what? I would totally use that. I don't, so I actually am using the one I created myself.
Okay, okay. We use Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. All of our postcards, all of our flyers, everything goes through there. I like it because it's a one-stop shop, and it compared to price, it's not that much higher than what Patrick can give us. I like what Patrick is doing, but I've just been using this program since we came back to KW back in 18. And it's just easy because I can sit at 10 o'clock at night and come up with something and do not have to, wait to the next morning to talk to Patrick, but it all depends in the beginning for you guys, making sure you have a consistent piece. There are so many different templates. My advice to you guys is making sure that whatever pieces you're doing, send them through marketing, make sure that they approve them. So the other guys, from Maria and Tariba, what are you guys doing?
I am mostly just focusing on like my network, just calling my sphere of influence and, catching up, and then, just bringing up, oh, like, who do you know that is interested in selling or buying?
Okay. And so tell me, what is a conversation like that? Like, do you want to role play it for a second? How does that sound?
Sure. Yeah. So, usually, these people are people that like I know pretty well. So usually just catching up, like what's new in their life, what's new in my life. And then usually like towards the end, I'll just like bring it up, like, or it could come up like during like mid conversation if like I talk about real estate. Like, oh yeah, like who do you know is interested in like selling, or who do you know that's like moving, or like, yeah, something like that.
Okay. So the key is making it sound really natural that the real estate market, and people are they're buying and selling all the time, right? So it's just a matter of letting them know, but really have confidence, because most people, when they first find out that you were in real estate, they're like, oh, you're brand new. So maybe, yeah, they want to have you they want to have you try out on somebody else, right? Speaking from experience, they tend to be like, well, I'm not quite sure if I want to use you because you're brand new, right? So the key is if you are you currently a homeowner?
No.
No. Okay. What about the others? You guys are homeowners? Yes? No?
Yes.
Okay. So how long have you been in real estate?
Me?
So that's the thing. It's just like, so how long have you been in real estate? Well, you know what? My first transaction was back in, when I bought my house. That could be a lead in. It's like, hey, listen, I have bought and sold. So it's easier whenever you have actually bought and sold, but using that as a spiel because you know about real estate. And yes, you are now going to be a professional, but sometimes hearing that, oh, I've only been in real estate for 3 weeks, don't go around telling people that. Just say, hey, you know what, been in real estate for a while, and then try to figure out what it is that they're looking for. Don't ever lie. However, if you say that you're brand new, most likely people are going to be like, okay, great, good luck. So make sure you phrase it in such a way and with confidence that you are going to be the person that can provide some great tools to really share with them what's happening in their neighborhood, what's happening in the real estate market, what's happening with rates, what's happening with anything that pertains to real estate. Hey, what's the color for 2021? The Sherwin-Williams for the paint company came out with, right? I mean, those little things that don't make a whole lot of sense when we first think about them, make sure we pay attention to those little things because they can be a topic of conversation. And now you come off sounding like, hey, you really know what's going on in the real estate market and what makes a difference when people are buying and selling. So remember that. Okay, so right now door knocking is kind of off limit for us. I'm a big door knocker. My husband and I have farmed in this one neighborhood for a little over 16 years. He initially started it and then I tagged on when I got my license. bear with me. That's an agent trying to get into one of my listings. Hold on just a second, guys. Hey, Sam. Okay, did you not bring in a 1 o'clock? Listen, I'm in the middle of teaching a class. Can I call you back? I thought you needed help to get into the house. Okay. Okay, I'll call you after. Thank you. Bye-bye. Sorry about that, guys. He had trouble getting into the house because we use a CPS code on the lockbox. So last time he tried to get in, he couldn't get in. So I thought that's what he was calling about. He just wanted to make sure his wife now can go see the house. Door knocking. So going back to door knocking. So we door knock quite a bit. I like it. My husband, not so much. He likes to just drop. But I've had some really great conversations in our farm with a lot of great people, and it has resulted into sales. So it's really just, it's a, again, consistent basis that whenever you can door knock again, when you have a farm, making sure they see you. One of the things that, you know, the farm that we have is up in West Hills in the valley, and it was right up backing up to where the Woolsey fire was 2 years ago. And of course, that was I went door knocking about a month later. Even though there was no houses in our farm that got affected, people were still kind of, unease. They were really kind of, they didn't really want to open up the doors and so forth. And what I typically like to do is I will wear a red jacket or my red tennis shoes. So it's something that stands out. So it's not like I'm coming in looking like someone who's, looking at the neighborhood to come back and rob it, right? Make sure you wear name tags. So if you guys haven't ordered name tags, I certainly recommend that you get your name tag ordered because it's a great thing, great conversation starter. And sometimes I would wear it to the grocery store and they'll be like, oh, you're an agent? Yeah. So you have a conversation piece starting because people don't know that you're in real estate unless you kind of let them know. So when you go back and have the ability to go door knocking, make sure you know the stats for the neighborhood. Make sure you know what's happening in a neighborhood. And Kirsten mentioned Nextdoor, and Nextdoor is a really great tool, especially if you farm in a neighborhood that you cover, that you live in. And the reason being is what's happening. There's a lot of issues with raccoons, or there's a lot of issues with coyotes. I mean, all those little things, you'll see that in a Nextdoor app. So if you don't have Nextdoor on your phone and you don't have it linked up to your particular neighborhood and it happens to be your farm, get that on your phone, get yourself a membership, and make sure you find out what's happening in the neighborhood. Do you guys have any questions on that?
No, all good.
Okay, good. Agents to agents referrals. So in your command, you will find that you can, we have 180,000 agents in KW all over the world. And all those agents are in your command. I would suggest that as part of your business, you connect with agents in different states, different cities. So for example, if you know that people are migrating to a certain city and state, get to know some of those people. Get a referral platform set up where, hey, if you know of someone that is actually looking to move to Boise, Idaho, for example, make sure you say, and let people know, hey, listen, just because I live here in California, I have agents that I work with that are in these other cities and states, and they can help. And if you start generating leads that way, if they have somebody coming in this way, what's going to happen? Most likely they're going to call you because you're going to, it's about relationship once again. So make sure you are definitely, as part of your prospecting, that you are connecting with other agents throughout the country. Do you guys have any questions on how to do that in terms of how to search on command?
I think I've done that actually, but.
Command is huge. There's a lot of stuff on it. So it knowing every little intricacy is definitely, you got to set some time aside for it. But I can recommend, getting connected with other agents outside. Also, if you all are on Facebook, there are 2 groups I want you guys to go become members of. One is KW Command Your Conversion. So KW Command Your Conversion. I think maybe it's just called Command Your Conversion, but it's a KW group. It's a private group. You have to make sure that in your Facebook profile, you are listing that you are an agent with KW Westlake, to make sure, because if they just see that, yeah, you're an agent, but you're not listed as KW, you may not get accepted into the group. And if they have to go figure out, oh, you're an agent, and they have to go search on your profile to figure out, oh yeah, indeed you are in a business, then this is probably not a group for you. However, I do suggest going that, because there's a lot of great tools that are shared, how to use Command, but also, what people are finding really, really helpful in the different markets. But it's also a great way to connect with agents in other cities and other states. So KW Command, Command Your Conversion, get into that one. If you're not already part of Lab Coat Agents, definitely sign up for that. It's called Lab Coats Agents. Get yourself a membership into that. It's free. It's just a group. But again, there's a bunch of really great material that you can use. And that's also another way to connect. And this is a group that was actually started by Tristan Ahumada, who was one of our agents here in this office, him and Nick Baldwin out of, I think he's in Michigan now. No, actually, yeah, I think he's in Michigan. But they started that group years and years ago. And there's, I forget how many people they have in there, but they have people in there from all the different brokerages. So again, connect with as many people as you can. Because you never know that one person could be the one that could send you a referral, or maybe you need to send a referral to them. And I can tell you this last year, I think we got 3 referrals out of the state. And when those checks came in, it was like, wow, I forgot all about it, because we weren't helping them buy, but we had referred. So it's definitely a way to boost your income. So when you know of people that are going to move out, you provide that service to them. That's one of the things we always tell our clients, that, listen, we will do the interviewing of your next agent in whatever city and state you go, because we know you like working with us and the type of way we conduct our business. And we truly believe that you deserve to have someone that works like we do. And you now share that with, you interview, because not every single agent is the same. But if you were to offer that service, they're going to be more apt to sign with you, because you're taking care of them. And that's really, again, coming back to that consultative and making sure you are, really caring and providing a service for your clients. Open houses right now, we can't really do. We have converted, I think last year when we were doing open houses, I think in our production last year, I think we had about almost 3 million in production that came out of open house conversions. So the people that says, oh, open houses don't work, I will tell you, yes, they do work if you work them correctly. So when we can do open houses again, definitely, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I'll be happy to share all the tools and things that we do when we do open houses. But they definitely work, and you get to meet a lot of different people, and you get to have more people into your database. Social media. Who all are on Instagram and Facebook?
I am, Kirsten.
Okay.
Me too.
Yep. So what I suggest to both is, did we ever fall off? Maybe I can't see the thing right now. What I suggest that you do is definitely make a Instagram account for your business. Do a Facebook account for your business, have the 2 tied together. So when you post on Instagram, it'll automatically go onto your Facebook page, but make sure you have a business page for both. In terms of your content, there are so many different things you can do with your content. Some people, will post they'll post all the time and have, it's all about buying and selling, or, hey, look at what I listed. But sometimes, there's got to be some fun stuff in there too. So make sure that you throw some personal stuff in. But if you want, go check out a couple different people. Tristan and Associates, go and look at that page. So write that down, Tristan and Associates, it's in one word. And what I also suggest that you do is look at Powell Fine Homes, that's ours, and see some of the posts that we do. Some of the posts that you can do in Command and Design, definitely great setup, use that. I use Canva a lot. So I did a class a few months ago on Canva. So if anyone has questions about Canva, I can certainly help you. But make sure you have something that is a consistent color, consistent text in terms of your fonts. Make sure it's something of value. Make sure that it's something that that it's not just, oh, here, look at me, what I've done. Give something of value and make something that's fun too, because people like to have something that's fun. So make sure that you go look and check those two accounts out. There's actually several different accounts that I follow on a regular basis. And if you want after the class, I can look them up and I can share them with you. But again, for inspiration, because some of the stuff, I didn't come up with all of it. It's, someone from a different part of the country came up with this great idea. And guess what? I borrowed it and made it mine. So definitely on social media, now with COVID, more so than ever, it's really important that you have a social media presence, because what's going to happen is when they find out you're in real estate, they're going to go check you out. And if you don't have anything that shows that you have a website, we all have great websites here with KW. If that's not set up, if you don't have an Instagram account, if you don't have a Facebook, then, how are they able to vet you? And then you've already kind of lost. So make sure you have something that kind of backs you up as a real estate agent. Do you guys have any questions on that?
No.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
I've been talking so much that I had to stop for a quick drink there. So definitely you can prospect these three ways, but the main one really is your sphere. Let's see if we have something that talks about that. So we talked about the door knocking. We can't really do that right now. Agent to agent, again, grow your network. That's same as growing your database, grow your network inside of Command. Right here, so this is, the Command referral. So if you have someone who's going out of town, like to a different city, state, you can look them up. You can invite people into your referral network. So if you haven't seen this already, go check out that tab. It's the referrals overview. Open houses, again, it really comes down to preparation. You need to make sure you know the house you're sitting open. So when that time comes, you learn everything you can about that house. Sometimes you'll sit open a house that's not a listing of yours. It will be somebody else that will give you the opportunity to hold it open. Make sure you really know what's happening in the neighborhood. In terms of preparation and prospecting, what we typically would do there are many times where we didn't have any listings, but we still wanted to do open houses. And somebody might have a house that we're like, hey, we'll sit it open for you. We do flyers. Well, we did flyers and let people know a week in advance that, hey, listen, we're going to be there on Sunday from 12 to 4 or whatever time it was. And you're welcome to come on by and really try to engage with the neighbors. They've probably already been invited by the listing agent before, but if they hadn't, then it's another personal touch and you're just trying to help sell the house, but also gain clients. Prospecting, adding contact, follow up, and stay top of mind. Again, adding the contacts, really important. Once you have them into your system, you want to make sure you add them onto a smart plan. You want to make sure you use your tags because you can search by tags. So say, for example, in your farm, those people are just in your farm. Make sure that they're tagged as, hey, this is farm A. If I don't know what the farm for you would be, but make sure you identify what farm it is so you can search those and only those will show up whenever you're doing calls or something like that. So they're not mixed in with everybody else. So make sure you use your tags, add them to cultivate face. Again, that's just, you cultivating them, right? You're kind of like marinating them to see, hey, over time, maybe you're the person that can be to their assistance. and then add them to a smart plan. And as you know, all the smart plans are in Command. Have you all looked at the smart plans in Command?
Yeah, I have looked at some of them, yes.
Have you edited any of them to kind of make it yours?
No, I've only used the neighborhood nurture right now as I'm starting out.
Okay. What I suggest that you do, especially for your people that you know, make sure that you get their birthdays, put them on that birthday plan. So they're going to get a text and then they're going to get a call from you. The call is going to be a thing that's going to pop up on your Command that day and say, hey, don't forget to call this person and say happy birthday. Again, it's just a personal touch. We use something called AM cards. And what I do is I send birthday cards out of there. And sometimes I will do my own handwritten birthday cards. It all depends on who the person is. Sometimes I will, add something on that AM cards. It's kind of like send out cards, but I can go in and actually make the if I have a picture of their house, so say for example, it's an anniversary card for their house. I can take a picture of their house, put that on the front page, say happy anniversary, and then put a message in there and I can send brownies or something like that. But make sure you have something that's going to make you stand out. Handwritten cards, make sure that they become part of your prospecting tool. After you connect with someone, always send them a thank you card or a little note, say, hey, it was great talking to you. And if say for example, you're out in the farm door knocking, when we're back to being able to do so. If you meet with someone and you're having a great conversation, make note of who it was. When you come back, write up a nice note that says, hey, you know what? I really like meeting you. And I did love talking about whatever you talked about, and include your business card. That way it's just another touch, but it's also, you're trying to connect on a personal level. Social media, they're again talking about it being 20% business, 80% personal. That still goes hand in hand with, where is the majority of your business coming from? Well, it's going to be, 20% of your business is going to come from your personal stuff. So you want to make sure that you are personal on any of the media platforms, because if you don't, it's just looking like it's just automized. Put some like Bitmojis. I don't know if you looked at my Instagram page, but sometimes I'll put Bitmojis in there. I'll make something fun. I'll put like, even on our story, I might, do like a filter of some sort and just saying, start talking or doing a live or something. But again, make sure they see you, make sure they see who is behind that page, because it's really about how you'll be surprised at how many people will actually connect with you based on how you look, how you speak. If you resonate with them, people that know and like you, they're the ones that are actually going to do business with you. So this is just a recap. One of the things that you want to make sure of is prospect using the things that you're good at. If you're not good at door knocking, don't spend 80% of your time door knocking. If you're not going to, is something that you don't like, because people are going to pick up on that. If you really like, having coffee gatherings with people, do that. So it all depends on how you as a person operate. There are so many different ways of connecting in prospecting. Is it a phone call? Is it emails? Is it texting? Is it, going for a coffee? Is it going for a dinner? I mean, try to stay away from the dinners, because they will add up if you end up saying, oh, I'll take you to dinner. Next thing you know, a lot of money has been spent, meeting for coffee, talk about the kids, talk about the family, talk about their, do the Ford model, right? Family, occupation, and then also making sure that you just talk about what their dreams are. Any questions so far?
Nope, all good.
All good. So you have to prioritize. And again, it comes back to your time block, right? When are you going to do these things? When are you best connecting with people? So door knocking, we found it was really interesting. We found that door knocking, sometimes I would go from 8 to 10. And I would actually get people, but then I'd also get people that were rushing out to go to job or take the kids to school or something like that. but they saw me in the neighborhood at 8 o'clock in the morning, dropping something off or connecting or talking to someone. So now you kind of say, oh, well, that person's not afraid of working, right? But I would door knock that early because guess what? It gets hot in the valley, right? So I don't want to make sure I'm out there at noon when it's the height of the day and the sun is out and it's really, really hot, because I do have hills in my farm. So I would do it early, but it's also one of those, that's usually when people are leaving and they will see you. Again, calls to Sphere, agent referrals, newsletters, connect letters, FISBOs. If you subscribe to any of those services, that gives you for sale by owner data information. You know, how are you going to connect with those people? They're definitely business to be had in that regard. It's a little bit harder, but it can happen. Open houses are right now kind of off. Social media, sign calls, website registrations, and client parties. Now, we have many agents here in this office that do client parties. We have a great facility here. So it's not like you have to take them to a restaurant. You have to do something, big and expensive. We have the settings here. So once when COVID is kind of a little bit on the downside, then you can have those events here in the office. So definitely take advantage of that. You want to prioritize, again, what your efforts and what your focus and what you're good at, because you want to make sure you connect with as many people a day. In Sally's program, how many people are you supposed to be talking to on a daily basis?
10, I think it is.
Okay,
10.
how many calls are you supposed to be making a day?
It was like a 10-10-10 method, something like 10 contacts, 10 calls, 10 touches.
Okay, so are you all doing that on a daily basis?
No. Well, I'm not making the 10 calls. For me personally, I'm on my third week now. It's just getting everything set up. So when I make a call, they can find me. And that all just kind of went up last week. So now I'm time blocking calls and things like that. So I didn't feel like I really could before because I had a prior life and I needed to switch LinkedIn and all of that stuff over. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, you want to make sure all your supporting material, such as your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, everything is supporting the call you're now making, that now you are going to be a real estate agent and this is now the new business that you're in. So you want to make sure that if people go back and check, they can see that you have, you're not, you don't have a website that doesn't have anything filled out. So definitely make sure you get everything set up. That's, the number one thing for you guys. With social media, what are some of the things that you guys gravitate to for social media when you see ads and so forth? Because that can kind of help you figure out how you are going to do your social media campaigns, right? So what is it that whenever you see an ad or whenever you see something that pops up in your feed, what are some of the things that you like to see?
I've been really trying to pay attention to that for me personally, since I want to get an ad out there. And I like when they show the house and click it and see more pictures and things like that, which is, when we were talking earlier, I don't have a house to show. So just, I think that really catches when you see the house or they put beautiful pictures on there and you want to see more.
If I'm not mistaken, Scott Leroy was the one you were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
just now came Scott Leroy.
Yeah.
If you go in and look on your website when you get it set up, if you don't have any listings, that's okay. You can go in and get a tab set up and have it list all of the office listings. So when people go to the website, they can see, oh, there are listings, right? You can have the MLS data go onto the website so people can still see. Or when you go run your ads, if there's a certain, you Kirsten, you were talking about Moore Park, go in and do a search in Moore Park and have all that data show up in your ad. So it's a, hey, did you know that there are 30 houses on the market in Moore Park right now? And then there's a link, and then they can click on it, but always make sure you don't give away the bag, right? You want to make sure you give them just enough to click, to register, so you get the lead and you can now call and follow up, but they have to register to get all of the information. And then they can kind of search, and you can say, hey, I can set you up on personalized searches, you know, like come contribution. If they're only interested in a certain neighborhood, for example, we saw quite a bit over in the Belmont track. I can do a targeted ad for just Belmont, and, you know, make sure that those people are targeted and offered that as a value. So, hey, when I'm door knocking, if I happen to door knock, we, you know, for when around our listings, when we had them over there, I could say, hey, listen, if you want to know just what's happening in this particular neighborhood, you don't have to go and look at the overall MLS. We can set you up specifically for Belmont tract. So make sure you know that those are options you have available to you. And that way, when you have listings on your site, it looks a little bit more substantial.
Right. Okay.
All righty. So again, planning, take action. You know, where's your business going to be coming from? You know, majority of the business for us comes through our sphere and past clients. And that's one of the things for you right now you don't have because you're new in the business, but you need to really work your sphere, because guess what? Most people in the state of California know 6 to 7 agents. So you are in a competitive market in that regard. So if you are the one that continuously stand out to them and follow up with them and talk to them, they're going to remember. Now, you all know that, what's the number one soda drink?
Is it Coke?
Okay, what's number 2?
Pepsi?
What's number 3?
7-Up?
Who cares, right? Precision of your mind, that's really what it comes down to. The first 2 that pop in. So you'll be surprised how many people that are like, oh, the last person that came to my door and dropped off a notepad or something like that, that will be the one that they remember. I mean, I've gone on listing presentations where there were probably 15 different notepads from different agents over the years on their counter. And of course, you know, we always try to put ours there too, but it doesn't always happen because it may not have been in our neighborhood or in our farm. But again, notepads, everyone likes notepads. So if it's not part of your strategy so far, make sure over time, find a good vendor, someone that, you know, don't break the bank on it, make it simple, but make sure you have all your information on it. And when you're back to door knocking, when you can, have that as part of what you're giving out. We also do pens, and it has our name and number on it. And it's just one of those, it doesn't cost a lot of money if you find a really good source for them. And if you want to ask me after, I will be happy to share where we're getting all of our stuff from, because I am the queen of getting everything for a discount. So make sure you reach out. I'll be happy to share that, because I don't like paying full price. I really do not. So develop a prospecting plan. So this is kind of like your activity for today. Recap and create your success list. So right now you guys have farms, you have your sphere. Who else comes to mind when you're thinking about who you want to have in your database?
Well, right now I was just thinking my sphere and family and contacts in my farm area.
Mm-hmm. So how in your command are you going to separate them all out so they don't all just flow as one big group of people?
I have them tagged so far. So when I get with Scott Leroy to put my farm in, I have each farm labeled per the little specific neighborhood. And then as I'm putting contacts in, I have a family one, out of state one, a friend one, you know, just trying to name them different tags so I can be specific when sending stuff out.
Perfect. And then when you add them to nurture any kind of nurture plans or smart plans and like that, make sure you have a tag for that as well. So if you are wanting to update if say for example, you want to make a call out to all the people that have birthdays, or if they have all the anniversaries. So we have this great tool available to us where we can go into title and look up. So in your farm, you should already have that as to when they bought the house. Sometimes the date may show when they last had a transaction on the house, whether it was a refi or something like that. So sometimes you have to do a little bit more digging, but it's always a really great idea to really know how long people in your farm have been there, because based on that, you can kind of predict where they may be going, that they may be selling next. So make sure you kind of know, is it the people that are on 123 Main Street, well, did they just buy last month? Okay, great. They bought last month. So they're probably not moving. However, they may know people that are interested in moving into the neighborhood because they're brand new in the neighborhood and they love it. So now you can kind of, when you are prospecting for business, is saying, hey, you know what? Your neighbor down the street, they have a family, they have some friends that are really looking. Who do you know that wants to move into this neighborhood? So it's always one of those coming from contribution, but you're also trying to connect with the brand new people into your farm. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because, most likely the agent that sold them the house, I would probably say 5 times out of 10, they don't keep in contact. I don't know what the stats are, but that's my experience that I found where in our specific farm, we keep in contact with our very first client, and it's on a deliberate monthly basis, quarterly basis. We try to keep it in contact. And for a few years, we got so busy that we didn't really get around to it, right? So guess what happened? They went and found someone else because we weren't top of mind, because we weren't connecting. So make sure that you put yourself and give yourself enough time to connect, but do it on a regular basis. Do you guys know what ahas mean?
Yes.
What does aha mean?
Just a memorable moment that you went, oh, that's a great idea. I gotta write that down, what you learned.
Cool. Yeah, that's it's funny because I've been back, like my husband was with KW when he got into real estate, like back in, I think it was 04 or 3 or 4. And we left KW, went to a different brokers and came back. And it wasn't until about 3-4 months ago, I actually learned in KW what AHA stands for. It is agents helping agents.
Ah, that's funny.
Right? So think about this. We're all about sharing and really making sure that you getting to hear from a lot of different speakers. You get a lot of different agents, a lot of different experience levels. We're all different. And whatever I may share with you today, if you just take away 1 or 2 things, great. The same from all these other agents, because you want to make it yours. And there will come a time where you're going to be sitting up here teaching a class and sharing what you have learned and what is resonating with you and how you can help others. Of course, this is a set curriculum type thing, but for Richard and I, we tend to kind of, make it a little bit more about what is really happening in the real estate market and how we approach it. So sometimes it deviates off a little bit. So some of the things we talked about, has your thinking of prospecting changed any? Or is it a recap of what you've kind of learned from Sally and some of the other agents that have been talking to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's a recap, and it's just maybe putting some new ideas in there and some different things to look about, and having your Instagram and the Tristan and Associates, just all these little things kind of help solidify and give, for me personally, more ideas on a look to go for and how to market it and things like that. And just tips in that way. And now it's just a matter of, continuing forward with that and getting that all in order, I think.
It's having that plan, right? Making sure that, so for example, for Instagram, what I try to do, and it doesn't always happen because sometimes we get busy, right? Sundays, make sure I have my plan on every single post that's going to happen for the week, because guess what? I had one set for today, but right now, because we have a couple of houses that got offers on them, so we're dealing back and forth encounters, and it kind of took me away yesterday from planning the week for the social media. But I have to go in and have formal posts for the week because I like to have one every single day. So it's just one of those things that you have to plan on what you're trying to post. So for example, Monday, I do a Monday motivation. Now for Tuesday, sometimes it's a tip. Sometimes it's something different. It all depends. Sometimes it's, hey, you know what? We got so-and-so in escrow. Congrats, right? Wednesday, it's kind of like hump day. Thursday, sometimes it's a throwback. I mean, I went back and did a throwback on the very first Instagram post, and seeing what it looked like back then to what it looked like now. I mean, I don't even know how many posts I have on Instagram, but there's a lot. So it was kind of funny because you see the evolution. Fridays, I like to do feedback Fridays. And sometimes the feedback, it doesn't, you can definitely use whatever feedback once you start getting it. Make sure that becomes part of your plan. So when you do business, make sure that you gather the feedback from your clients. Make sure that you have it on Yelp. Make sure you have it on Zillow. Even though Zillow is the big bad guy, make sure you have a profile on Zillow. Make sure you get it on there. Make sure you have it on Google. And some people like to use Realtor.com. We're not fans of Realtor.com, so I don't really do any feedback thing on that. But after each deal, we have emails that go out asking for feedback. And we offer, some coffee cards saying, hey, you know what, copy paste, put feedback up. And then what happens is I'll take that feedback and I'll make a post out of it. So on Fridays, I'll do that. Was there anything that you felt was really meaningful and helpful from today?
I think for me, like the big takeaways were, the first one was about adding my farm to Command, and really utilizing Command more and doing some of that Facebook targeting that you were mentioning. Apart from that, I can't remember what else, but like a lot of it I have heard before, but there was something else. I'll try to remember.
That's okay. The key is just find a couple of things that you can take away and use in the way you lead in your prospecting, the way you try to find your people that you're going to be targeting to. The fact that you already have farms, you're way ahead of the game. Making sure you have a plan. So right now you should be planning what you're going to be doing for the full year for 2021. I don't know if you guys participated in the business planning that Mark and Terry did. If you didn't, I think it's still online that you can view it, but there are definitely some great planning tools that you can set up. Of course, mailing to farm, it can add up. Michael Lewis Marketing Suite is actually the cheapest that we found when we did it ourselves, when we printed and stuffed envelopes and stuck, stamps on and so forth way back when. It became very expensive. We used to have one of those, what are those for the post office, the code, so you can, like the mass mailing thing you could do. We stopped doing that because it was extremely labor intensive and it was really expensive. So having a source such as Michael Lewis Marketing Suite is really great. I think right now, we pay about 56 to 60, about 60 cents a piece putting it in the mail, which for me, I think that's very, very cheap. And if you can set that money aside to do that on a regular basis, make the plan. Sometimes it won't happen, but make the plan that you plan to do that every 4 to 6 weeks. So you have something consistently going out to those farms. In between, make sure when we can door knock and we can drop again, you have something in person as well, because getting something in the mail, great. But if you can get something and hand it to someone and have a conversation, even better. And then that mail piece just becomes that supporting document for you. Oh yeah, that's right. I met that person last time. It's just one of those things you need to have different type of touches in your farm. So when you do your business plan for next year, make sure that if you're really targeting your farms, that you figure out a way to do it inexpensively, because real estate can be very expensive very quickly. Make sure you have something that's going to be of service to them. So in the spring, for example, spring cleaning ideas, or, there's all these different things, like fall, like what things should be taking, when winterizing your home, making sure, you get all the leaves out of the gutters and all these other different things, but have pieces that are going to be helpful. So now what are some of the things that you guys are going to do a little different now after we've had this discussion about prospecting?
One thing for sure for me is like reaching out to other KW agents, like either locally or out of state. That was the thing that I forgot earlier, but yeah, like that's a good point. I haven't really reached out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I remember somebody saying that, and it kind of went by the wayside as I'm getting set up. But now that I'm having more time to implement stuff, that's such an easy idea and zero work involved besides just a reach out or a contact. So it's a great idea.
If you make that a part of your business plan and saying, hey, on a weekly basis, I'm going to connect. And you don't have to make it a huge thing. I mean, we know this whole 10 contacts you have to add, but if you say you do 5 every week, that's 20 a month. I mean, that right there gives you a really great opportunity to connect with other people and make sure you have them in command, make sure you have them tagged, and make sure that they're not set up to receive all of your marketing materials, because sometimes, agents like them, sometimes they don't. But make sure you make it part of your plan. You say, okay, this week I'm going to connect with 5. That means 1 a day. That's not bad, because if you're going to call them on the phone, or if you're going to text them, or you're going to connect via the system and then try to have a conversation on top of it, that could take potentially a half hour. So right. 1 person a day, have 5 a week. Now, before you know it, you're gonna expand your network, because within the KW universe, it's all about the connections, right? It's all about how we can help each other grow. So definitely put that part of your plan. Have the different conversations, whether they be at the supermarket, whether they be, when you're standing in line to, buy your lotto tickets. No, I'm just kidding. Whether however you have your conversations, school right now, is Moore Park in school right now?
They are, yeah.
Okay. So I live in LA County, and they're not in school right now. Everything is still online. So people don't really have those interactions, but yes, we have to kind of be separated, but when you're in front of people, take an interest in what they're doing. The thing is don't let them think that you're only talking to them because you're trying to let them know you're a real estate agent. Try to take a personal interest. Right. Handwritten notes, as I said, I have it on my goal sheet. I do a 411 for every week. If you guys know what a 411 is, are you familiar with the 411?
No, somebody was talking about that the other day, and I don't know that I've heard that, or the true definition of it.
Okay, so every week, so I have, I have my yearly goal, I have my monthly goal, I have it broken down into weeks. And what am I going to do to hit the monthly? What am I going to do to hit my yearly goal? So it's like a supporting document, and it changes every week. And sometimes it's like, so today I'm teaching class, right? So I'm not prospecting right now. This is usually my time where I prospect. So when am I going to do that next, right? So I will put different things on my plan, so I work around it, because it's always a work in progress. It's never everything happens exactly as you plan. You all know that the sentiment of man plans, God laughs, right? We can only do so much, but make sure you have some set things in place about, how are you going to do your handwritten notes? How many are you going to do? On mine, I have 20 a week. That is what that's my goal. Does it happen every week? Most weeks. That's just one of those things. The conversations right now, I don't know if any of you guys have signed up and done Bold yet, but whenever you have the opportunity to do so, it's really better in person than it is online, but online is still very good. But I prefer to have it where you're kind of away from everything and you're really focused being with an instructor. But in that, you can now consider a conversation. It's not just that you pick up the phone and actually talk to someone. It could be a text as long as it's going back and forth, so it counts as a contact. So texting, I use texting as well. And then the home previews per week, right now for you guys that are brand new, definitely go out and see some homes. The vacant ones are the ones that you should focus on, just because most likely you have an easier time getting into those versus the ones that are occupied. So scripts, you guys definitely need to learn the scripts. You guys go to script class with Sally, I'm sure, and knowing what to say and when to say and, say something, it's like objections or, trying to figure out how motivated they are. We have a seller right now. She is completely unmotivated. And I kind of known that from the beginning. She was so upset because we've been on the market for 80 days and she hadn't gotten any offers. And guess what? Yesterday I got 2. And now she's like, oh my God, well, where am I going to go for the holidays? And now I got to get out of my house. And so figuring out her motivation right now is like, okay, well, you were complaining when you didn't get offers and now you're complaining that you got offers, and what's next? So it's about having those conversations and having a script for how you're going to phrase it with them. So make sure whatever you learn in scripts class, learn it, make it yours, but don't deviate too much, because everyone says, oh yeah, I'm just going to do my own. Well, there's some set ways of saying things that will get them back turned around, and you can figure out, okay, are you wasting your time or are you not wasting your time? My husband right now will tell me I'm wasting my time on the seller, but it was also one of those. I mean, I worked with her for the last going on 2 years now. She's been wanting to sell her house, and now finally I got her on the market, and now she's like, well, where am I going to go next? Right. So it's one of those, you got to pick your battles. So right now that's my battle, but knowing the scripts and how to deal with it, certainly pay attention to that. Let's see here. Role play. If you guys role play, great thing, call each other up, role play. You really can get a lot of things out of role play. I mean, I've role played with Mark Moskowitz. I've role played with several people here in the office, and it's helpful. Sometimes it feels kind of quirky. But again, isn't it always harder to have these conversations with your peers versus people that are, your friends and are thinking about buying or selling, right? If you don't know them, then, hey, they don't know any better. But when you have your peers, you always kind of like, well, what are they going to think, right? So don't get caught up in that. Role play as much as you can, because it will make you better and it will really make you hone your craft. So whatever you can do with that, do that. Make sure you're compliant. Check that do not call list. Always check before you call. And if you have someone that's like, that says, well, why are you calling me? And they're all being nasty, be nice back. Don't get caught up in their nastiness. Just make sure you tell them, you know what, I am terribly sorry. I did not see, whatever you say to them, just be nice about it. And sometimes you can get them off the ledge and then you're fine. And I think that is it.
Thank you so much. It's all very helpful.
Yeah, and the thing is it all really comes down to staying in contact and providing a service. And again, coming back to the Coke Pepsi story, right? Who are they going to remember? Are you one of the two? And if you're one of the two, you will get the call.
Right.
So, all right. Well, you guys have some work ahead. I don't know what your schedule is now for how they have you set up for that, but we're done here for class today. If you guys want to come by, I'm usually in office 3 to 4 times a week. Certainly schedule time to see me. I'll be happy to share anything and everything that I can with you to make you successful. My office is right next to Steve Henneberry's down there in the back. And again, it's all about, I'm come from contribution. I like helping other people succeed. Do I want to succeed myself? Absolutely. But I'm that type of person that I succeed when others around me succeed. So I hope you guys got that from me today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Certainly, I'm here for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kirsten.
You are very
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
You're welcome. Did we miss who else was on here? I don't even know. So we ended up with, it was the same 3. Ron dropped off. But Ron, he's been in the office for a couple of years now, and sometimes he'll jump on to see if we have something new to share, and then he'll listen in. But again, I go to other people's classes too, because sometimes they have something that I didn't know. So it's always a learning process.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Well, we're done for the day. If you want to reach me, Kirsten Powell at here in the office. Let me think here. You can reach me at Kirsten@PowellFineHomes.com, or you can, if you want my number, take it down. I'd be happy to share it with you. That way you can reach out, text me, whatever. You can see us on Instagram and Facebook too. And if you want help with any of your social media stuff, I'm thinking I'm going to be teaching another class both about Canva, but also about the signs. I don't know when that's going to be on the calendar, but it's all about putting some nice creative content out there that doesn't take a lot of time and money to make. So that's what it comes down to.
Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.